This Business Newsmakers is brought to you by Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. There's a reason people live here. There's a reason people bank here.
Todd's been the chamber president for over 11 years. What was really interesting is how he ended up getting here in the first place.
It's a long story, I guess. So my career has been in radio. I started in radio when I was in college. I had done a fair amount of acting when I was in school, and I did some public address work, and one of those divine interventions occurred. I ran into somebody who was in radio. We got talking. He said, "You've got a good voice." He said, "I've got an opening." And so I was 19, I was a freshman in college, and the rest is history. I stayed in radio for a long time and became the morning program host on a local station here for 20 years. And at some point in time, I was not really bored, but looking for some new interests, so I ran for the county legislature in 1995. I was elected that year. I served for 7 years. I was the chairman for the last 3 years. And that skill set, I guess, the public relations aspect, the radio, the economic development, the elected public service, turned out to be appropriate for this position. Now, my predecessor was here for 34 years. So big shoes to fill. And but it's been just a magical, wonderful ride for the last 11 years now.
So okay, I'm a small business, I'm a member of the chamber. How do I get the most out of my chamber membership? What advice would you give to me of saying, hey, here's how I get the most out of your chamber membership?
And it really depends on what you are and what you want from the organization. Right. We can be the loudest voice for business in our region if that's what a member wants. And we have several members, many members who don't do business in Ulster County. They have their businesses on the internet. Mm-hmm. Their business comes from overseas or out of the state or out of the country. And so we help them by promoting what they do 365, 24/7 on our website. And they know that we are here for them in terms of helping with the cost of liability insurance or workers' comp, all of those which are issues for almost every small business. Our breakfast meetings, that's one of the things you mentioned before about what have I seen as a change. Back in the day, breakfast meetings started at 7:45. They were done by 9 o'clock. People got there at 7:40. They left at 9:02. Yep. Now, particularly the last 5 years, breakfast meetings start at 7:30. There's a crowd at 7. They get done at 9 o'clock. There's still a crowd there at 10. People use those opportunities to network, to talk to their people who sit at their tables or are in the audience with them. Sometimes about the topic, and we try to have educational, informative topics at our meetings, but more often they're there to meet their fellow local business leaders and to find out how they can help them. It's a huge part of what we do is to get them together. And of course we have seminars, business card exchanges. All those are good networking opportunities. We do an annual Buy Local Expo, we do an awards dinner. Anytime we can get them together in one room, they appreciate. And so we evolve, and I think that's part of what chambers have to do today. And that's what, that's what businesses have done the last few years, especially through the recession. If you weren't able to adapt and to be flexible and to change, there's a good chance you were not going to succeed if you were a small business in the Hudson Valley. So that's what we've done. And this is maybe something that not every chamber will talk about, but we offered a health insurance product for our members for a long time, since the mid-'80s. That whole dynamic has now changed with Obamacare. And so that's reflected in our membership. We people who were sole proprietors who came to us just for insurance have now gone and got insurance through the public exchange. So I think clearly it's not a one-size-fits-all. And what I love doing in terms of helping an individual business is to sit down right here, listen to them, find out what their issues are, and then determine how best I can help them.
So I got to ask the question. Okay, we've had a lot of president turnover in chambers in the Hudson Valley area. A lot of people retiring, new people coming in. So is Ward going to be with us for a while? I mean, do you have an exit plan in place? What's going to happen with you in terms of Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah, I haven't even thought about it. I haven't even thought about it. I have no exit plan. I love what I'm doing. My wife and I talk about this a lot because I'm in my 60s, and what do you want to do? And I love working. I have always loved working. My father owned a business. I went to work for him as soon as I could get my working papers when I was 14, and I've worked since then. And I enjoy it. I don't have a lot of hobbies. I do enjoy spending free time with my family and now grandchildren. But in terms of what makes me feel good, it's getting up at 5 o'clock or 4:30 and getting to work and making a difference. And I love to work and I love this job. So when I feel as if the time is right, then the time will be right.
Going to Maine in a couple of weeks. Yeah, looking forward to that.
Well, you've been a leader of several organizations, first radio station, then you're county legislator, then you come here to the Chamber of Commerce, okay? What advice would you give to a small business owner who obviously has to be a leader of his organization, maybe he has one employee, maybe he has multiple? What's the key success factors of being a good leader?
So it can be a long list, but you know, I'm just thinking that the best way to start is to take some kind of leadership training. I don't know anyone who doesn't continue today to read Dale Carnegie or whoever. You know, there are so many authors out there and so many audio and videotapes of leaders who have gone through and who go through a very involved process. I think one of the best programs that we offer currently is something called Leadership Ulster. I know most chambers offer them, and we've tried to design ours so that it would be as effective as possible and as successful as possible. And what I've enjoyed in my role is to sit in and listen to and watch and learn from other leaders in our area. You know, leaders aren't born, you learn. And so we've seen the county executive and the mayor and business leaders and heads of local hospitals come and speak to our students on a regular basis. And it's a good opportunity for all of us to learn from each other. So I think that's been an important part of this job, that I don't hold any misconceptions. I obviously don't know everything, and I never will know everything, but I will learn every day how to be a better person, a better leader, a better human being.